Hello, World of Warcraft. This is Sinan with the WoW Dungeon, and I am bringing you a little gem today: how to dominate Battlegrounds. Now, when I say dominate, I'm not talking about win a battleground. Doing objectives is totally for chumps. You have to do the objectives! I'm talking about being on the top for damage and on the top for killing blows. That's the kind of top dog domination that I'm talking about. So without further ado, let's get into it. So before I can actually get into the bread and butter of the video, I need to do a preliminary check on your ass to make sure that you have these three things down packed before you go off thinking you can dominate Battlegrounds and then totally find yourself getting boned. I don't want that for you. You don't want that for you. So make sure you have these three things in check. The first thing is know how to do damage as a hunter. If you don't know your rotations as a hunter, you're going to be wasting your time, and you're going to be embarrassing yourself, and you're going to be embarrassing me. So if you are survival or beastmaster, I have guides that I'm going to be linking right here, and you go check out those videos prior to starting your battleground. Make sure that you know how to do damage. The second thing is to make sure you have a full set of conquest gear. You really need a full set of conquest gear, the best PvP gear available, because otherwise you're limiting yourself. So you want to have the most up-to-date conquest gear available. If you struggle to get conquest gear because maybe arenas are a little intimidating, don't worry. In a few weeks after the patch drops, I'm going to be dropping a video called Step into the Arena, and it's going to be showing 2v2 as a hunter, give you step-by-step instructions on how to enter arenas and have some moderate success and earn conquest points much faster than you would, say, doing Ashram. The third thing is, and this is pretty easy as long as you have the gold for it, is go get pots. And what I mean by that is go get potions, go get your elixirs that give you agility and persist through death. Go use potions that are on you, so every time you burst you have a ton more damage to do. Those just make things a lot more easy. And you should do them in Battlegrounds because, screw it, it's a Battlegrounds. It's all about D-swinging. We want to be D-swingers, so make sure that you grab your pots and potions. Or just potions, whatever. Alright, so the bread and butter of this video, and really the bread and butter of knowing how to create best opportunities to have killing blows and do as much damage as possible, is being able to choose the right kill target. And the reason why I say that is because many times people think, oh, it's a healer, you gotta kill the healer. If you don't train the healer, then they all live. No. Don't sit there and just mindlessly train healer. While that is helpful, that doesn't mean that you should always do it. I can't tell you how sad it is to see 3 or 4 people on a healer trying to take him down. He is being free casted healed by another healer and is tanking and taking away the focus of 3 to 4 potential damage dealers on the field. That is embarrassing. Now, the first thing that you want to do is you want to go get an add-on called plate buffs. You want to have nameplates enabled on all enemy characters, and you want to have plate buffs enabled so that you can see defensive cooldowns if you're not using something like Gladiator, Losa, and Battlegrounds, which it gets too confusing. I wouldn't recommend it. If you watch plate buffs, it'll show you in icons when a player has popped a defensive cooldown. That way you can watch the field and see who's popping defensive cooldowns and who isn't. When someone pops a defensive cooldown in a battleground, they are not a good kill target. If a rogue has evasion up, he is not a good kill target outside of a stun. If a monk has a bubble on him, or a paladin has an 8-second divine shield, which is the immunity bubble, or a hunter has deterrence, the list goes on. It is not a good idea to continue doing damage to them. It is better for you to swap and hit somebody else who's fresh or possibly doesn't have defensive cooldowns. And the reason why is because you are wasting potential damage. If you have forced a defensive cooldown on a DPS player or a healer, the healing on that team is going to be forced to try to save that person's life because that is what they do. If the healer is pressured, he's going to try to save his own life. If the DPS is pressured, the healer is going to try to save his life. When those cooldowns are popped, if you are able to switch to another player and you are going to burn out the defensive capabilities of the team, the healing capabilities of the team. Example, there's 5 enemy players, one of them is a healer. If you hit somebody really hard and the healer's forced to pop defensives to help save that guy's life and you swap to somebody else, that healer's going to run out of defenses really quickly and is not going to be able to support saving 2 lives, including his own. So what I'm trying to say is, when defensives are popped, switch. That is the best thing that you can do. And the people that you switch to are people with weak defensives, low health, incompetent players, noob players, inexperienced players, old players, really feeble players that you need to be targeting. So here's a question. Let's say you're focusing on a Retribution Paladin. He pops Divine Shield and is immune for 8 seconds. Do you swap to the A Protection Warrior? Or do you swap to the Shadow Priest? You see what I'm saying? Swapping to the right kill targets. Obviously, it's a crazy example, but it's essential to be asking those questions every second and to be able to swap on a dime so that you can keep creating pressure. That is what Hunter's all about. If someone is low health, kill steal that bitch. Swap to him, kill shot, end it. Kill steal. That's how you get killing blows, and that's how you'll continuously keep spreading pressure. The more you use of your kill shot, the more damage you're going to be using. A second component of dominating in Battlegrounds is avoiding being killed. The reason why I say that is because obviously the more you're alive, the more opportunity you have to do damage and to take killing blows. However, that also means that you shouldn't just engage in fights when you think you might be able to 1v2 people. You should pretty much always have somebody there to support you, and you should never be the vanguard or the front lines of a fight. You should always be hanging back as much as possible and turreting people down from afar. If someone is going to switch to you, you want to make sure that you can become as annoying as possible to kill. As annoying as possible. That means post-haste really works here. You're sprinting away from the target. It's very hard to catch up to you. You're using concussive shots, explosive traps, binding shots to keep people away from you. You know how to use your freezing trap. Make sure you're making things impossible for whoever is trying to come after you. So that way that they're taking away their DPS from the fight while trying to get you, and they're tunneling you and not succeeding. If you can distract someone while killing someone, you're effectively controlling 2 players, one with damage and one just by pissing them off. And that's what you should be doing if you start getting focused. Okay, so this BG as Marksman Hunter, I get into the fight, and you notice immediately that I want to set myself up in a good position. I put myself in, between the enemy by being on the other side of the flag while they're on the other side of me. I start on the shaman to get a feel for what's going on, and you'll see that the shaman runs away. He moves away, whether it's intentionally away from me or from somebody else, I'm not sure, so I swap to a hunter. Hunter becomes easy pickings. After that, I start going on another hunter to test out the field. I throw an aim shot into him, and I just notice that his health isn't dropping, and he's getting focused heal. I notice he has a disc bubble up. So I swap over to a Shadow Priest who has no heals. He's undergeared, and I 3-shot his ass. After that, I swap over to the Priest. Priest guises, probably is trying to avoid damage. Isn't aware of how much damage his hunter is going to take. And in less than 9 seconds, in about 9 seconds, I'm able to take out the Disc Priest in 3 shots, and then we're able to 3-shot a Hunter with a Warrior's assistance. That is just disgustingly nasty. You can see in such a short time period how quickly you can remove 2 DPS from the equation, even though there's healers on the field. Okay, so I just want to show you another example of just being able to just you're just one person, and there's a team of 10, so you're 1 out of 9 people, 1 out of 20 people, and how much of a difference one person can make. So in this clip, you'll see that people are trying to get the orbs from the Temple of Kotmogu. One of the warriors is a protection, what is it, protection? Yeah, protection warrior, and he pops shield wall, which is like a 40 or something % reduction. I don't know, hardly anybody PvPs with tank specs, but it's a large amount of damage reduction. At the same time, you have a druid here, Alalane, stupid name, I can't judge, is in tree form. He is just casting in tree form. Nobody's on him. There's no pressure. So how can I create an opportunity for us? What I do is I see the opportunity to trap him. I binding shot him, knock him away to make sure he's stunned. I trap him. He gets trapped. One of the warriors goes down during that trap. Mind you, there's a paladin who's also getting pressured. I don't know why people are training him, but they're not doing a very good job. But he's also not doing a good job of healing. So they're training him, taking away from healing the orb carriers. And meanwhile, I get a 5-stack of Frenzy. I have my Bestial Wrath up. I have Barrage up. I'm ready to do some damage. So I pop everything because I notice that the druid is not really healing himself. He's about to lose tree form. He starts casting a regrowth. Mind you, I have so much damage out right now. I take him down to about 50% before I kick him. This gives me 3 seconds to cast freely on him and hopefully land a kill. I get him into kill shot range, but before I can kill shot, he is able to get himself above 20% and save himself. Well, I wasn't able to kill the druid, but in that 10 seconds, we are able to force the druid to start casting heals on himself. So what does that mean for the one warrior who has an orb only being focused by one of our guys for some reason? Well, that means that I can easily just swap over to this warrior and immediately start kill-shotting him, and then he goes down. Meanwhile, the druid's okay, but they've just lost 2 orbs in about a 10 to 20 second time frame because of mainly one person being able to distract the healer for long enough that it creates the orb carriers in a position without defensives and to be able to be soloed by people. This is a super important aspect to recognize. Okay, so to commentate on this big fight for the blacksmith here in Arathi Basin. So I'm going in, coming in to support the Arathi Basin. We're trying to hold the fort. I see a rogue, so I start opening, trying to get a feel for what's going on. The rogue comes after me, and remember what I said about making sure that you become really annoying to kill? Well, I make sure I get out of that trinket, flare, before the rogue comes out. Pre-deterrence, so he doesn't subterfuge cheap shot me and knock him away. That is awesome. I just eliminated somebody from the fight for a long period of time. I pretty much indirectly CC'd him. That's great. Now I can start surveying the field a little bit better. I see that the Holy Paladin is out. I trap the warrior to get him off somebody. I see that the lock isn't getting any heals, and I'm pretty sure I could burn him through. Power shot into a Chimera shot brings him down to 36% health, and that is nuts. I've just taken someone else out of the fight because I power shotted him off the edge, and I did a tremendous amount of damage that won't be healable by a healer if he's already being pressured, which he's already at half health. So, after the Warlock's gone, I get kidneyed again by the Rogue, but he somehow thinks that there's more important things to do. And I'm still on diminishing returns, so it's only a small one. So I go back on the Rogue, I pump him with damage. By the time he pops evasion, it's already too late. We're already pushing these people out. So I pop a deterrence just to prevent the warrior from doing any more pressure to me because he can do a lot of damage to me. I notice that the hunter's in deterrence, however, I'm able to throw out a aim shot, Chimera shot, and scare him into doing another deterrence and just frankly just running away. At this point, the fight's looking our way. There's another healer, and I try to trap him immediately. The reason why I try to trap him is because I'm trying to force him to pop a cooldown, maybe a trinket, and that way if another DPS comes by and stuns him, he's going to be fully stunned and I can do damage to him. Somebody obviously breaks the trap though, so I start going on this Viagara druid, and I'm hoping for an opportunity. I see that he's casting regrowth. He's not really healing himself all that much, so I power shot him and kill him off. Pretty much do most of the damage to him, and he just tanks down. So far this is a really great fight, and it's going in our way. And I just start looking around for opportunities to kill people, swap, do a kill shot. There's some bad feral, and they're starting to finally burn me down. But I've taken out so many guys in that just one fight that I think just dying right there was absolutely okay. On top of that, I res, come back, swap over, get a quick kill, and just go back to getting some more killing blows on this. And it is just absolutely disgusting. And just so you guys are aware, this did end very well for me. I ended up with 14 killing blows. And even though I died 5 times, which is quite a bit, you can clearly see that my team probably wasn't capable of winning this BG. And despite the high amount of output that I had and the opportunities that I created for my team, it still wasn't enough. But you can clearly see that I'm the top dog and I'm dominating Horseside, and you can immediately see that as soon as you open that scoreboard. Alright, so thank you very much for watching my video. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. I hope that I will see you on the battleground, topping the charts, doing stupid amounts of damage, and showing people what hunters are made of in Battlegrounds. Alright guys, till next time.